Now the spouses are speaking up. More than 500 active duty military spouses signed a petition hand-delivered to Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville earlier today. The petition calls for an end to the Alabama senator's months-long effort to block more than 280 high-ranking military promotions. And that's the part that few are talking about, the human impact this is having on the military families. It's over Tuberville's disagreement with a new Defense Department policy that pays for travel expenses for service members seeking an abortion to travel from, let's say, where they're stationed to a state where abortion is legal. The petition reading in part, no matter what your political beliefs, we must agree that service members and military families will not be used as political leverage. It's time to end this political showmanship and recommit to respect the service and sacrifice to those who pledged to defend this nation. But, of course, that's not how Senator Tuberville views the stalemate for which he is personally responsible.
The only power we have is to put a hold on something. And so we thought that this would get the attention of the Secretary of Defense. I told him back in December, now, if you do this, I'm going to put a hold on all your admirals and generals. I didn't hear from him for 2 months. He put the order through, just through a memo instead of a law. He changed it. That's unlawful. To make it law, you've got to go through Congress. And we're trying to teach them that you cannot legislate from the Pentagon.
Right. In the meantime, while Tuberville is trying to teach lessons and offering some suspect legal guidance, the Army is now forced to ask nearly 20 high-ranking officers, all planning to retire or move to other jobs, to stay in their current position through at least December. Of those, 13 have agreed to stay on, in some cases for nearly a year longer than expected, putting any plans they and their families had on hold, and this after already serving our country for decades in many cases. Army Secretary Christine Wormuth talked about the impact this will have.
Families have a vote, and I really worry that we're going to have a brain and talent drain as a result of this, really unprecedented step that Senator Tuberville has chosen to take.
Joining us now is Sarah Streyder. She's the executive director of the Secure Families Initiative, a nonpartisan group that provides support to military families. The group organized this petition, and she is one of the 500 active duty military spouses who signed it. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Before we talk about the arguments, just talk to us about the impact that this sort of thing is having on military families.
Yeah, so let's start with the 281 military families so far whose promotions have been blocked. Those families are in perpetual limbo as they are waiting for clarity as to whether they should move, potentially moving with out-of-pocket expenses so that their kids can plug into the next school, their spouses can plug into the next job. There's a ripple effect as well. There's the generals who are sticking on longer in their job than expected. There's younger officers coming up the rank whose own advancement is now blocked because there's a clog in the pipeline. But this is bigger than 281 families. It's even bigger than the hundreds more in their units. This affects every single one of us who has a loved one in uniform, because this affects our confidence that the Senate and the House can do their jobs and go through a basic, what should be a nonpartisan task. How do we have any confidence that this won't happen again with something even higher stakes like life or death?
Now, you say that this is not a pro-life versus pro-choice issue. As you know, there are some who want to characterize it that way. Why is it not that?
Like you clarified earlier, we're talking about a travel and leave policy. So no DoD funds would be used to perform the reproductive health services that we're talking about. But our basic point with this petition is that if you have a policy disagreement, let's have it through the appropriate legislative channels. Let's not throw 281 military families into a partisan crossfire. It is just attacking the wrong people for the wrong reasons.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.